Hi, Dan Cucimilio here for NorCal Sports Network on Sunday before the Super Bowl with the Niners and Chiefs. Not much happening in the world of sports today. So I thought I would come to you and tell you 5 moves I think the San Francisco Giants can do before spring training to make this team competitive for a wild card spot in 2024. All right, here's the first move. Let me show you, first of all, what the Giants need to do when it comes to getting under the CBT to make these moves. And what we have here is we have the uh, Cots salaries there. If you notice, the column on the right says 197 for the Giants. Their actual 26-man roster is 157, but the CBT right here, CBT tax 40-man, they are sitting at 197 right now. So in order to make these 5 moves and make them stay under the competitive balance tax for 2024, which is, by the way, 237 million, the Giants are going to have to make some trades. And here's the first move. They need to get rid of Michael Conforto and his $18 million salary. I think Farhan, when he gave him the opt-out last year, probably the worst thing that could happen did happen. Conforto didn't have the bounce back year that Farhan was hoping he would have, and Giants fans, and he opted back in. And that really threw a monkey wrench, I believe, into the plans for 2024. So I would do everything I could to get rid of Michael Conforto. You might have to even pay $6 million of that salary to another team, maybe somebody like Cincinnati, where Joey Votto's gone and they could use some power in a short ballpark. I think Conforto could have a real big year somewhere like in Cincinnati, where he might be able to pop 25 plus homers in Cincinnati, or another park like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Some of those parks where the ball is, the fields are pretty short and the ball flies. So Michael Conforto, get rid of that $18 million contract. Secondly, you need to move on from Mike Yastrzemski. He's been a formidable ball player and a great teammate, and yet he's getting into his mid-30s or roughly 32-ish, and is he going to be here when the Giants get really good at some point? Not sure if that's going to be the case. Plus, he makes close to $8 million. I think he's at $7.9 million. So moving off of Mike Yastrzemski and Michael Conforto would save you $26 million. 26 minus the 197 would bring you down to 171. Okay, so now you can go all the way up to 237 million. How do you get the Giants to be better? You make a few moves. You sign Cody Bellinger as your keystone free agent signing of the offseason, and you make him the star that Mike Krukow basically said, if the Giants don't sign a superstar, he'll leave the show. Well, Farhan, we don't want Kruk to leave. You got to get a star. And Cody Bellinger's a former MVP, hit 47 home runs in 2019 before hurting his shoulder in the 2020 season. Had 2 terrible years following that in 21 and 22, but had a great year last year, a bounce-back year. Bellinger's only 28. He's got speed. He's athletic. He's got some power. He can hit for average. Great defensive player. You can put him anywhere in the outfield, put him at first base. He's the kind of guy you want to have on your team. So Cody Bellinger is a signing. 7 years, $175 million. That's $25 million a year for AAV. 171 plus 25 brings you up to 196. Next, sign Jorge Soler as your 3 and 4 hitter, Bellinger. You can flip-flop them based on whatever the lineup is for the day, but flip-flop Soler, Bellinger in the 3-4 hole. 2 years, $30 million for Jorge Soler. That's 15 million AAV. Now you're at 211, and you're still under the 237. Next, Blake Snell to solidify the pitching staff and have a 1-2 combination of Logan Webb and Blake Snell. Scott Boras, Blake Snell's agent, said that he wants a higher AAV than what Yamamoto signed for the Dodgers. Yamamoto signed for 12 years at 325, which is basically a little over 27 million a year. So you signed Blake Snell to a similar deal that the New York Yankees signed Carlos Rodon last year, which was 6 years, 162. I think with the market being the way it is, there's not much people competing right now. I think you can get Blake Snell if you want to get that 28 million and beat Rodon's deal. 6 years, 168. That's 28 million a year. That brings you up to 239. Well, you say that's over 237. Yes, it is by 2 million. So what you do is you structure the contracts in the first year where you take $1 million off of that in the first year of all three players. Instead of 2 years giving Soler 15 and 15, you give him 14 and 16, okay? And with Bellinger, you go under the first year, you add it on to the back end, the $1 million. You stay under the 237 that way, and you still have room to make moves. Joey Bart, I'm not sure exactly what his salary is, but he can be moved at some point. And now I'm going to give you the bonus move. That's 5 moves I just gave you that improves the team by adding 3 star players: Cody Bellinger, Jorge Soler, and Blake Snell, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. I mean, the Giants are pretty competitive right now, right? As we look at this. So let's take a look at the summary of this, and I'll show you exactly what I just pointed out when we look at the summary. Here it is. Okay, trading Conforto saves you $18 million. Maybe you have to pay $6 million of that to a team. Just get a minor league player. Don't have to really necessarily get a 40-man roster spot. Trade Conforto. Open up room for the guys you're going to pick up in free agency on the 40-man, and get a prospect that's maybe 3-4 years away, whatever, but a good prospect that has a lot of potential. And then trading Yaz saves you $8 million. Now, you signed Belly, there it is, 7 years, 175. Soler, 2 years for 30. Soler was making $13 million, by the way, with Miami, and opted out and still hasn't found a home. And we see where some of the other guys have been signing similar to his skill set, and 15 million should be enough to get the deal done. Maybe you bump it up a little bit here or there, maybe on the back end. Maybe you go, like I said, 14 million the first year. Maybe you go 18 million next year, and give him 32 million just to get Soler to come to San Francisco. And then Blake Snell. Bob Melvin had stated that he would love to have a former player that he's coached before. He had Blake Snell the last couple of years in San Diego. And I don't think you need Matt Chapman, because if you sign Matt Chapman, you're not going to be able to do 1 or 2 of these other deals by signing either Bellinger or Snell. So this way you improve the team and you add some hitting. And I want to show you a bonus move. Here's the bonus move. Let me put this up here 1 second here, and I'm going to put up a trade for you. The 6th move, a bonus move here coming up. We've got a trade with the Marlins. There it is. The Giants are trading for Luis Arias, the 2-time batting champion, once in the American League with the Minnesota Twins and last year with the Miami Marlins. To do that deal, we look at the baseball trade values, and the Giants are giving a little more than what is Arias' value is at 30.2. Matos alone would do it, but I'm not sure if the Marlins would do that deal. So by adding in Joe Whitman, because the Marlins love starting pitching that is young and controllable. You're giving up almost 39 in value to get just over 30, but you get the two-time batting champ, Luis Arias. And let me show you the lineup, what this would look like with the Giants. You say, well, what are you going to do with Thairo Estrada if you've picked up Luis Arias at second base? Well, very simple. You make Thairo Estrada your Chris Taylor of the Los Angeles Dodgers, where one day he's playing left field, maybe 2 days a week he's playing left field. Another day he's playing third base, subbing in for either J.D. Davis, giving him a rest, or Casey Schmidt, who's ever playing third. Another day you play Estrada at shortstop. Maybe you play Estrada a couple days a week because, Luciano's struggling at the plate or possibly in the field. You also can put him at second base, giving Arias a rest. So Thairo Estrada becomes your super utility player where he's in the lineup at least 5 out of 6 games a week. And that will also give Estrada the chance to, last year he kind of broke down toward the end of the season. He did get hurt, but Estrada's never really played 162 games. So I think if you have Estrada for maybe 140, keep him a little bit rested, you can move him all around. So here's my starting lineup for the San Francisco Giants. And this lineup, I believe, can really contend. At the top of the lineup is Jung-Hoo Lee playing center field. Batting second, the 300 guaranteed plus hitter in the lineup, which the Giants haven't had since Buster Posey, Luis Arias. Batting third at DH, Jorge Soler. Didn't want to put Bellinger there at third because it would have been lefty, lefty, lefty. So we're going to break it up here and go lefty, lefty. Then we're going to go right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, batting third, Soler. Batting fourth, playing right field, Cody Bellinger. Batting fifth at third base, J.D. Davis. Batting sixth at first base, Lamont Wade. Batting seventh in left field, Thairo Estrada. In the eighth position, Patrick Bailey, your catcher, and then in the ninth spot, Marco Luciano. That gives you some power and speed at the bottom of the lineup, and you got speed at the top. And this is a lineup that will give guys like Soler, Bellinger, and Davis, and even Wade, even Estrada, guys getting on base and some RBIs. This is what the Giants need, is contact hitters for their ballpark. You got Jung-Hoo Lee. He's that type of hitter. And we know Luis Arias is. Arias can be had from the Marlins. Farhan just needs to get busy, and he needs to make some of these moves. It's not that difficult to make kinds of moves. We saw him just last week kind of move off of Ross Stripling and saving $9.5 million. This is what you got to do, is get up to that competitive balance tax, stay under it, and you can always go over it 1 year even and come back down. But this gives the Giants some real depth. I mean, look at the depth that they would have. You would have guys like on the bench, you'd have Slater and Flores and super pinch hitters. You can platoon Flores and Wade again at first base. Wade can play some outfield. Gives you a lot of depth. Now, it does take away a left-handed bat, granted, by taking away Yaz and Conforto and just adding Bellinger, you lose one left-handed bat off the bench. So the Giants may need to find that left-handed bat somewhere. You are picking up Arias as a left-handed bat, but you don't have any left-handed bats on the bench. So for pinch hitting purposes. So there could be guys like Wade Meckler who could come up at some point. Even Blake Sable would be a guy who could be a pinch hitter extraordinaire, guy who can come in and hit for power, can play catcher and left field. I'm actually not even that fond of the Tom Murphy move behind the plate because you're paying him $4 million when you got Joey Bart, who could be a backup catcher. I think Joey Bart would be an excellent backup catcher. He's not even in his arbitration years. He doesn't start arbitration year eligible till next year. So Joey Bart would have been a guy that you could have just carried very inexpensively on your roster and not giving away $4 million like you have in Murphy. But that's my my solution, my plan for what the Giants should be doing. And all these moves could be, frankly could be made before spring training gets going within the next couple of weeks. So tell us what you think in the comments, what you like, what you don't like. You know, Giants fans have all kinds of opinions when it comes to their ball club, but I think the way the roster sits right now, at best, it's a 4th place finish for the Giants unless Farhan Zaidi gets busy, gets bold, gets aggressive, and makes the type of moves that I've just suggested. Hey, thanks for watching NorCal Sports Network. We're on every weeknight from 8:30 till who knows when. Sometimes it might be 45 minutes to an hour. Other nights it could be a three-hour marathon. But like and subscribe to the NorCal Sports Network. And again, we'll see you here every weeknight at 8:30. And we're looking to add some special guests, hopefully coming soon in the next week. So thanks again for watching, and go Niners next week.